Hello! In this video I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to cook a curry. It's a Saturday night tradition in our house and I've always been pretty good at making curries, but do you know what? During the lockdown I've absolutely nailed it. So I thought I'd do a video on the subject. Fancy joining me? Welcome to Rog Vlog. This is a bit of an experiment, so I hope you'll bear with me. Tonight I'm going to be cooking my version of a chicken madras. Now, normally a chicken madras is just meat in a very rich, quite spicy sauce, but I quite like onions and lots of mushrooms as well. So it's going to be a little bit different to the traditional chicken madras you get in a restaurant. So technically we're talking chicken, mushroom and onion madras. First up, we need some base gravy. Now I make these in advance in batches, and it's effectively just a load of onions, a can of tomatoes, bit of garlic, bit of ginger, and it's all cooked together with chicken stock, and then get a blender out and liquidize it, see? And we use this to enrich the curry as we're cooking it, and it helps to stop the spices from burning, but it also adds an incredible amount of flavor to the curry. I'm not going to specifically show you how to make the base gravy tonight, but there are loads of videos on YouTube that you can find which gives you a recipe for the base gravy. First of all, I'm going to cut up the chicken into cubes. We need one onion, and I'm going to chop that up into little petals. As many mushrooms as you can handle, and I particularly like these brown chestnut mushrooms. I always cut the mushrooms up really thin so that when I cook them, they get nice and browned and nutty quite quickly. We're going to make a paste out of garlic and out of ginger, and we're going to use a garlic press on both of these items. Give it a squeeze over the ramekin. I'm going to use that knife just to scrape the ginger down, and now the same with the garlic. Oh, there you go. Let's give it a little mix up. That ginger and garlic smells incredible. To add a little bit of kick to the curry, we want some green bird eye chilies. Now these are ferociously hot, so the way that I use them is I put them in the sauce at the start and I cook them, but take them out before serving so that nobody inadvertently gets a mouthful of this, because you get one of these in your mouth, it's gonna blow your head off. All I'm going to do with those hot bird eye chilies is just slice them slightly. We're going to need some tomato puree, and I'm going to dilute that with a little bit of water, and that again is going to add flavour to the sauce. Into another ramekin I'm going to put 2 teaspoons worth, and then add about half a ramekin of water and mix it up to create a lovely tomato sauce. We want to make a combination of curry powder and spice powders, and this is one of the crucial ingredients for my curry recipe. So for this one, we're going to start off with about half a teaspoon of paprika, smoked paprika powder, about half a teaspoon of ground cumin, again about half a teaspoon of turmeric. Love that yellow colour that turmeric brings to curries, and about 2 teaspoonfuls of General Madras curry powder. This is hot chili powder. I'm going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon into the mix. Now you might want to add a little bit more if you want your curry to be hotter. Here's that combination of curry spices in the ramekin, and we're just going to mix all of those together. Oh, can you see that turmeric? That is just gorgeous, isn't it? And again, the smells from this are just incredible. And with our curry tonight, I'm also going to make some beautiful flatbreads. Now these are really well worth investing the time in making, and they're really simple. All you need is flour, salt and water, and they are absolutely delicious. So this is half a bowl full of self-raising flour, and we're going to put some salt in it, and I really like these pink Himalayan salts. Then we're going to mix it up with a fork, and now I'm going to add some water. This is where it gets a bit icky. I'm going to mix up that flour. If you put too much water in, just top it up with a bit of flour so that you get this sort of gloopiness. I told you I'm not a chef, so my terminology is absolutely awful. What we need to do is we need to put some flour down on the worktop. Tip that gunk. Gunk? Did I say gunk? I'm going to put that down into the flour. We can start to use our hands to manipulate it and to knead it. Oh, I really love this bit. It reminds me of being a child and playing with plasticine and Play-Doh. Just give it a bit of a mix around. You're going to get the worktop really messy doing this. And we're going to leave that to mature. So time to get cooking, and the first thing we're going to do is take that base sauce and dilute it a bit and heat it up. Next, let's brown off the chicken in a little rapeseed oil. Don't you just love the sound of the sizzle? Now let's scoop out the chicken and save it for later. Oh, it's getting a bit warm in the kitchen, and I can't put the extractor fan on because of the noise. Now, once that base gravy is boiling, reduce it to simmer and just have it handy because we're going to need it constantly through the rest of the recipe. Next, we're going to cook those mushrooms, and we're cooking those in advance as well so that they're nice and brown and we can put them into the curry right at the last minute. The mushrooms are nice and brown now, so we're going to scoop them out, put them in a bowl and keep them for later. That's all the prep done. It's now time to cook the curry. The first thing we're going to do is to put some cardamom pods into the oil. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about the cardamom pods earlier on. Next in, those bird eye chilies. Listen to that snap, crackle and pop. We're cooking over a medium heat here. Next, let's add those gorgeous onion petals into the pan. Next in goes that fantastic garlic and ginger paste that we made earlier. Now we want to take the edge off that garlic, but we don't want to burn it, so if you need to, just pop a little half ladleful of that base gravy into the pan and it'll stop the garlic from burning. And this is where the smells are going to get incredible. We're going to add that ramekin full of spices into the pan and then mix it in. that smells incredible, but we don't want those spices to burn. So again, we can add a little bit of that base sauce to prevent that. The onions and the base sauce caramelise against the side of the pan, adding sweetness and flavour to the sauce. Now let's add that tomato sauce to the pan. Oh, just look at that. It's starting to look like a curry already, and the smells amazing. Now we're going to add a couple of ladles of that base sauce. Again, this is going to add even more flavour, and as that caramelizes and renders down, it makes the curry really rich and deep. You can see that sauce bubbling and the oil separates from the sauce, which gives it that fantastic British Indian restaurant look and feel. And this is usually the time that I fish out those bird eye chilies, just in case the curry gets too hot. But if you like it hot, leave them in. This is coming together so well. So I'm now going to put the chicken and the mushrooms into the curry, and then we're almost there. Definitely getting hotter now. We just want the curry to mature. So I'm going to keep adding scoops of base gravy into the sauce just to thicken it up, just to deepen the flavour. You can do this as many times as you like. While that curry's maturing, we're going to make the flatbreads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide that blob of dough that we created earlier into 4 smaller blobs of dough, and then I'm going to get a rolling pin and roll them out really nice and big and flat, and then all we need to do is put them in a pan and cook them. Now as you cook the flatbreads, you're going to notice them getting little bubbles coming up all over the top. Leave it for a few moments until there's quite a few bubbles before you flip the flatbread over to the other side. And we're almost ready to plate. Last thing we're going to do before that is we're going to add a few fenugreek leaves to the pot. I forgot to tell you about this ingredient earlier as well. These are also known as methi leaves. Well, that's it. Let's plate it and let's eat it. I'm going to chop up a few pieces of coriander. I think that's another ingredient I forgot, isn't it? And then we're going to tuck in to this fabulous chicken madras with mushrooms and onions. That is fantastic. And the best way to taste the depth of the sauce is to use that flatbread, almost like a spoon. That is so good. And I was quite economic with the chilies, wasn't I? I didn't put much chili powder in, and I took those chilies, those bird eye chilies, out quite early. But that is actually quite hot. It's got a bit of a punch to it. My mouth's tingling. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that curry. And do you know what? I really enjoyed filming the cookery process as well. I've never done anything like that before. And it was really interesting to try and set the cameras up and avoid them getting splattered in curry sauce, of course, from different angles, and the lighting in the kitchen as well. So I hope you enjoyed this rather different episode of Rog Vlog. If you did enjoy the episode, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And until the next video, remember, there's always something to see, so get out there and find it.